What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, and today I'm bringing you another division video. Today's video is going to be focused on how I run my 6-piece final measure in PvE and why I think this build is so great to run and how it's the perfect team build. Now, this build will be strictly focused on PvE. Next week sometime I'll release my PvP version of this, but you guys are going to run those totally different. This is strictly for PvE and pretty much my go-to PvE build to run when I'm running in a team and I'm doing a lot of the harder legendary missions and a lot of the harder incursions. So we're going to get into this video in just a second. Before we do, I just want to say thank you to everybody who went over to my Twitch and followed. I think we went from 700 followers yesterday to almost 1,000 followers today. So if you haven't went over there and you guys are missing out on my streams, that is where I will be streaming from now on. So if you guys want to watch my streams, if you guys want to be able to play with me, if you want to just be able to go in there and chat with other players, that is a perfect place for you guys to do that. Head over to my Twitch, hit follow, and you guys can even hit subscribe if you guys want to. That's like sponsoring on YouTube. I plan on using Twitch a little bit more. So that's enough talking, guys. I just want to say thank you guys again for all the support, but let's get into this video. So the first thing you're going to notice is my primary firepower is 359,000. That's firearms of 5,100. My toughness is 426,000. That's stamina of 5,200. And my skill power is 182,000. And that's electronics of 5,194. Now I'm running a 6-piece final measure. And a lot of you guys are going to ask me off the bat, well, what's so cool about running the 6-piece final measure? It's great for PvE and even PvP if you know how to run it the right way. But we're going to be focusing this build strictly on PvE. So set 2 bonus is going to give you that additional 25% exotic damage resilience. Set bonus 3 is going to give you 15% protection from elites. And then set bonus 4 final measure. When in range of hostile grenades or mortars, you defuse them and it adds the grenades to your inventory. This can only happen once every 8 seconds. And this works really good when you guys have to carry one item from one point to another and you're getting mortars shot at you. It works amazing. You catch the mortars and you can keep on moving. This can happen every 8 seconds. So if you caught one within 8 seconds and another one hits you, of course you're not going to be able to defuse it, but every 8 seconds you're able to defuse those. Now this only gets better as we get into set bonus 6 and we'll get into that. So set bonus 5 is going to give you an additional 15% exotic damage resilience and then an additional 15% protection from elites. That's why I say this build is great for PvE because you're getting an additional 30% protection from elites and then also you're getting 40% exotic damage resilience. Now that exotic damage resilience is really good for PvP too, but we'll talk about that more when I talk strictly about my PvP final measure. Remember, this is just my PvE final measure. Now set bonus 6, like I told you guys, improved final measure. When you defuse a grenade, the player and all group members within 30 meters gain that buff based on the grenade type that was diffused. So EMP shock, skill power is increased by 40% for 8 seconds for all 4 players. Frag grenades, weapon damage is increased by 40% for 8 seconds. Remember, that's all 4 players get that additional 40% damage. And then you have flashbang and tear gas. Armor is increased by 40% for 8 seconds. So every time you catch one of those grenades, your whole team is going to get that boost. So that's amazing for PvE and even PvP. So we're going to go into how I have this gear set up and why I have it that way. So if we get into the chest, it's rolled stamina, it has enemy armor damage, it has health, and it has ammo capacity. Since this is a PvE build, I'm going to stack enemy armor damage on every piece that I can. And then of course, if I have damage to elite slots available, I will stack that too. For the mods, I'm running electronics mods with 3% damage to elites. For the mask, it's rolled firearms. It has enemy armor damage and damage to elites. This is the perfect way you should have all your PvE masks. You should always have enemy armor damage on the major attribute and then damage to elites in the minor attribute. And I'm running electronics mods with 3% damage to elites. For the knee pads, they're rolled stamina. They have a major attribute skill power. The minor attribute is blind death resistance, disorient resistance, and then shock resistance. Now this is the one set I wasn't able to get damage to elites on my knee pads. If I had the perfect knee pads, I would love to have my minor attribute damage to elites, and that way I would hit a lot harder when I'm fighting elite enemies. For the mods, I'm running electronics mods with 3% damage to elites, and then of course performance mods with 4% turret damage. For the holster, I decided to roll major attribute of health because I want to have a little bit more survivability. Some of you might want to put reload speed on here, skill haste. Just decide what major attribute you want. I felt that having health on here was a little bit better, especially the way I use this build. I want to have some kind of toughness when I'm running this build. For the gloves, the rolled firearms, They have a major attribute of assault rifle damage, enemy armor damage, and critical hit chance. For the backpack, the last piece, it's road electronics, major attribute is skill power, and the minor attribute is burn resistance. For the mods, I'm running electronics mods with 3% damage to elites, and then performance mods with 4% turret damage. All my mods on this build are 4% turret damage because I am going to be running a flame turret, and I want to have a little bit of damage with that flame turret. For the weapons, I'm running the urban MDR. The base damage is almost 47,000. The enemy armor damage is low at 18%. But remember, this is not a fully optimized urban MDR. It's only a gear score 269. Now, once I have time to fully optimize this weapon, the enemy armor damage will go up and the base damage will go up. The talents I'm running are ferocious. Damage against elite and named enemies is increased by 10%, which is great for all your PvE builds. And then I'm also running destructive, which is also a great talent to run on all your PvE builds. Armor destruction value is increased by 15% when using this weapon. The main talent on the urban MDR is distracted. Your damage is increased by 18% against targets with status effects. And that's why pairing this gun with the flame turret is worth it, because you're going to hit 18% harder against targets with status effects. If they catch on fire, that is a status effect. The way I have this modded is I have a C79 scope with 18% critical hit damage, 5.5 headshot damage, and 2.5 critical hit chance. I have a large suppressor with 18% critical hit damage, 2.5 critical hit chance, and 5.5 headshot damage. I have a small grip of 19% critical hit damage, 5% optimal range, and 4.5 reload speed. And then I have extended magazine with 120% magazine size, 3% critical hit chance, and 4% critical hit damage. For my secondary, I'm running the Big Alejandro. This is going to give me a base damage of 11.5k and then 20% damage to targets out of cover. Yes, this is not fully optimized. As you see, the gear score is only 266. So as I fully optimize this, my damage to targets out of cover is going to go up. And then of course my base damage is going to go up. The talents I'm running are exactly the same talents I am running on my urban MDR. I'm running ferocious, damage against elite and named enemies is increased by 10%. Destructive, armor destruction value is increased by 15% when using this weapon. And then cover shooter, which is great for a final measure build, since a lot of times you are in cover when you're catching those grenades, you're catching those mortars. You can stay in cover, you can use the Big Alejandro, and then every bullet fired at an enemy from cover increases your weapon damage by 0.5% up to 50%. This bonus lasts 10 seconds. Getting a kill with this weapon while in cover resets the duration. The bonus damage is canceled by reloading, swapping weapons, and exiting combat. The way I have this weapon modded is I have a C79 scope with critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and headshot damage. I have an Omega rifle suppressor with headshot damage, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. And then I'm running extended magazine with magazine size, 3% critical hit chance, and 4% critical hit damage. If we get into the skills, you're going to see I'm running a booster shot that's going to heal me for 92,000, and it's also going to heal my allies for 92,000. This will come back every 42 seconds. Now, if I feel like I'm taking a lot of damage and I need a bigger heal, I'll switch over to my overdose that's going to heal me for 154,000. And then if I do need to heal my allies, it's still going to heal them for 86,000. This will come back every 46 seconds. I love pairing this off with the nice flame turret because of the urban MDR, and this is going to come back every 53 seconds, and the base damage on it is 6,100, which is pretty good for a flame turret. And you pair that up with me hitting them with the urban MDR, and most NPCs will get shredded. Now for the talent, since I mainly run this in a group PvE setting, I run triage, heal an ally with skill to reduce skill cooldowns by 15%. That's going to help me get my booster shot and help me get my flame turret back a lot faster. I also love running critical save on all my builds, using make it during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. And then of course strike back, reach low health to reduce active skill cooldowns by 20%. Now the fourth talent I'm running is Wildfire. If you're going to run a flame turret, this is a must put on your build. Wildfire, applying burn to any target, triggers a 30% chance per each target in a 10 meters radius to catch on fire. So that helps out a lot, because if you have 4 shotgunners rushing you and you only apply burn to one of the shotgunners, the other 3 shotgunners can come after you. But if you apply burn to one of them and it has a 30% chance to make each target around them catch on fire, it's most likely going to stop all of them from rushing you, and you have time to actually drop them before they have time to get close to you. So running a flame turret with Wildfire, it's key, guys. Always run that. Now if we get into the character, you're going to see my critical hit chance on my urban MDR is 13%, my critical hit damage is 84%, and my headshot damage is 106%. My damage to elite is 37%, which is going to be great against those elite and named enemies. My enemy armor damage is 54%, which is great when I want to fight NPCs and they have a lot of armor. I'm going to shred right through it. My survivability is 426,000. My max health is 291,000. My armor mitigation is 31%, almost 32%. Now this gear set is not fully optimized, so as I fully optimize this gear set, it will get better. It should get up to at least 33%. My protection from elites is 30%. Now this is great when I'm fighting those elite and named enemies. My exotic damage resilience is 40%. So this pretty much wraps up my build. This is my go-to PvE build, running an Urban MDR, running a Big Alejandro, running a 6-piece final measure. I love running this build on a lot of the incursions I run. I run it in Clear Sky, I run it in Falcon Lost, I run it in Dragon's Nest. It's definitely a go-to PvE build for me. A lot of people always like having a 6-piece final measure, so finding a group when I'm running solo is very easy for me. I like running this, especially on those incursions that you want to complete on Heroic. Now for this next global event, there is going to be a mask, a clown mask that you need to go flawless on Falcon Lost, and to do that you guys need to have a 6-piece final measure, and you're also going to need to have a reclaimer. So those are going to be 2 builds that you're going to want to have on your team when you guys are going in there to complete Falcon Lost on Flawless. And we'll get into that in tomorrow's video. I just wanted to put this build out for you guys. If you guys have any questions on this build video, use the comment section down below. I just want to thank you guys again for all the support. Don't forget to head over to Twitch if you guys want to watch my live streams. It's a free service, guys, so head over there, hit follow, and that way you guys will get notified once I do go live. And I will be playing with a lot of my subs during this next global event to help you guys get those masks. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're watching a video, hit that subscribe button. Remember, if you don't see me in Last Stand, if you don't see me in Skirmish, if you don't see me in the Dark Zone, it's only a matter of time. Nothing but skills is out.